Valanciunas is day to day, but still like starting Hernan Gomez as a center like that's waving the white flag.
Yeah, it's not even Juancho Hernangomez, the actor star in that Hustle Adam Sandler movie.
Bo Cruz. I still call him
Bo
Bo
Cruz.
Cruz. Yeah. He got waived by the Celtics.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, sad. It's sad because like he's typecasted as Bo Cruz, and yet no one really knows his actual name until they like see it. But they're gonna call him Bo Cruz anyways. And his basketball skills, while although very very impressive, not good enough for a team. Just just sad.
Yeah.
He keeps getting waived by like tons of teams. Like I think he got waived by the Jazz one time. He got waived by the Celtics. Like he can't find a team to play for. Uh, hey, the Pelicans might need him. You know, they're looking for something.
Yeah.
Sign Bo Cruz, man. Like
Get the Hernangomez guys together.
absolutely, yeah. This episode is called Sign Bo Cruz.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker! Goes by Bo. Oh! Drops the sledgehammer! Good bucket. Kobe Bryant on a rack attack! A piece of it. Wade going right. Giannis Antetokounmpo over Chris Middleton. It's a physical game. Oh, man! Vicious slam in the face of Kawhi Leonard. Explosion, the finish. Down to three, down to two, it's a three. Good! Good! He got it! James Harden, a flamethrower! This guy's unbelievable. He is so fun to watch.
Hi guys, welcome to Cut the Nets episode 12. We have 12 episodes now. I'm Jeremy and Brian, who we have my co-host here. Welcome guys. We have a lot to talk about. Some crazy NBA games. A 9-game winning streak from the New York Knicks, which kind of makes me feel like I believe that, hey, they might be onto something. And the Rockets, 2-game winning streak. What's that? What's up with that? We also have what we're going to talk about in a little bit. The Grizzlies' monumental collapse. They might not be as cooped up to be. I might have to rescind my pick for the NBA Finals prediction champion. I don't think it's the Memphis Grizzlies no more. I think it's going to be the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are going to go win it all.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy that I'm saying that?
Yeah, I mean, I just remember that huge debate you and Eric having about the Denver Nuggets, and you called them regular season champions, and now you're giving them the NBA Finals champion.
They are regular season champions, but I would not be surprised if I saw them make a finals appearance. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, they're a great team, but the thing is there's so many. Like, I think the West is way more top heavy than the East, like in terms of championship contenders. So, like, there's realistically 5 teams in the West that could probably make a finals run. But I would probably say the Nuggets have the best chance out of those teams.
They're just a well-oiled machine. I mean, they haven't had any significant injuries happen. Jamal Murray's back. Michael Porter Jr.'s back. Aaron Gordon's just going off. And then you got, the Joker. He's gunning for a third MVP. I know that the NBA doesn't really like to do back-to-back MVPs, but he could prove his case as an MVP again.
Speaking of the Nuggets, did you see that Aaron Gordon poster that they called an offensive foul?
No, I don't think I saw it. Look it up here.
I couldn't even tell you when it happened. I want to say yesterday. He pretty much just like posterizes some guard or something, and then they called it an offensive foul. But like honestly, one of the like underrated or like funnier parts of the video was after the call is being made, like Gordon's still on the ground. Like Gordon lands on this guy too. Like it was kind of clean.
Yeah.
And he just like, but you just see Jokic realizing like, oh shit, I gotta get back because I'm slow as shit, and just starts sprinting back to the other side of the court. It was pretty funny.
Is this sprint like a little fat man, kind of just like doing this?
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
time?
pretty much.
Yeah. No, I didn't see it. Damn, I looked it up, but I can't find it. I'm not the best at looking things up here.
Oh, it was Oh, never mind. It was a while ago. But
was it during Christmas time?
Yeah, I for some reason just saw a TikTok about it today. That's why I thought it happened recently.
Oh,
No, it happened like the
okay.
day after Christmas. Never mind.
So, this is like a courtside view. Damn. Fell right on top of his ass. Like missionary style, man. Like I just don't really see any sort of underlying issues with the team. I really don't. I feel like they, aside from the losses they have, of course, you got to rest players, you got load management, whatever, what have you. Yeah, sure, whatever. But other than that, I mean, they still stay pretty consistent. They have a loaded West, and if you are a first seed team in a loaded West, and you're like what, at least 10 games above the like the 3 through seeds 3 through 10, that's pretty good. That's pretty impressive because you got really good teams like the Kings right now are really good. The Mavericks, the Suns, the Grizzlies. I mean, the Grizzlies, as I said earlier, they collapsed. We'll talk about that in a bit, but you got really good teams here. And even though the records may not show it, they all could still pose a threat to each other in the playoffs. With the Nuggets, I don't know. Their home record's insane. Oh my God.
Geez,
their home record is 29-4. Okay.
Well, the Grizzlies are 26-5.
Yeah, but they got a negative road record too. So they're 12-20. Like when I saw their away record, the Grizzlies, I was like, yeah. And also like, okay, let's get into it. So, Brian, what do you think of John Morant's Instagram video right off the bat? What are your thoughts?
Insanely childish. Like, we saw, like, I get it, like, having a gun, assuming it's registered and he went through the process, within it is, like, I guess fine, but it just showed immaturity. Like, throughout his whole career, he showed signs of immaturity. One, like, kind of just poses a threat. Like, when you're showing off a gun, like, it makes you very intimidating. Like, John Morant, obviously freak on the court, insanely athletic, like star of a very good Memphis Grizzlies team. Like, he's probably a role model for a lot of people, and he kind of lost that right outright. Obviously, it's not a good look. He's not with the team. He's suspended bare minimum 2 games. So not only is he hurting himself, because he's probably not getting paid for those games. I mean, not that money matters to him because his contract's ridiculous. But I'm just saying, like, he's losing money. He's losing respect probably of a lot of people. He's hurting his team. But honestly, I have more of a problem with what he did. I don't know if you heard that story that happened to him over the summer where he was playing a 17-year-old and he punched him and, like, assaulted a 17-year-old kid. Like, I
did hear about that.
That's, like,
yeah,
honestly, like, ridiculous. Like, one that's assault of a minor.
I got a question about that though. It was brought up subsequently after the gun video. Like I didn't really hear much of this news report about him, assaulting a 17-year-old until the gun video was leaked online. Or it wasn't really leaked online. He was on IG Live for that matter. But
yeah,
the assault that he committed towards the minor, isn't it odd that like the story was resurfaced after the gun video?
I mean, yeah, that's a little weird, but I guess it's like perfect timing because, like, if the 17-year-old brought it up, like, assuming the gun video didn't happen, like, I'm like, it wouldn't have gone viral. I feel like because it would have been like, oh, like this like kid like posing a thing on like John Morant, like, could just be making up a rumor, like could be he said like whatever. But I feel like it's the perfect time to go after him because now it's kind of like
he's already down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. I think that's good timing too because if I was in the kid's shoes and I was going to try to accuse John Morant of assaulting me, which of course it did happen, but of course, like, doing it days after it happened, no one's going to believe you unless you have a witness.
Yeah, I mean, they're investigating it, and that's kind of why they indefinitely suspended John Morant. So we're going to see what happens. But now I'm also curious to see if and when he does come back, how he's kind of going to be treated by the media.
Yeah.
They still got to even investigate the gun situation because, like, he can have it registered. Because I remember, I only know this because I just saw some other athlete get arrested for this. But, like, John Morant can have his gun registered in, like, hypothetically Texas where he bought it. But, like, if he was on IG Live and he was in Tennessee and it's not registered in Tennessee, like in Memphis, he could be screwed in that regard too. So, like,
why wasn't it like before the Nuggets game? Wasn't this? Were they on the road or were they at home?
Well, he missed the Clippers game, which was at LA. Yeah, it was at Denver. They were on the road.
It was on the road in Denver, and they lost that game.
Yeah.
Was this before that loss or after?
It had to be after because he played in that game.
That also kind of makes him look bad too. You lose a game against the Nuggets, one of the most important teams in the league, and a very important matchup. Like, it's very important that you at least make it a game and try to win because it's the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, I mean, we saw though Denver has probably the best home record in the league. So I guess, but I mean, I still understand what you're saying.
But like right after the game, you go to a club and go on IG Live and show off a gun.
Yeah, like I don't even get what the point of it. Like,
I don't know. Maybe he was just trying to flex on his hose or something.
I don't even know.
I don't know.
Jordan Poole's got his way of balling out in front of the ladies' courtside. I guess John Morant's Riz game is showing off a gun.
Yeah. That's some alpha male shit right there.
I guess so, yeah.
No, it's not. It's petty shit.
It's both LA games he's missing because they play the Lakers on the road tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
the Lakers what's up?
Do you think it's like, would you say it's fairly easy to say that this suspension will last longer than 2 games? Or do you think he's going to be back Thursday?
I think if the police move quickly with this investigation and then convict him for something, then he will be suspended for more games. If the police take their time, if the NBA media gets in the way because maybe they want John Morant to be on the court because that brings in money, then the police will probably bring this investigation up later down the road, maybe after the season ends or after the playoffs. It's the best time to convict an NBA player is during the offseason. That's the best time. Or during the regular season when it starts. That's the best time.
Didn't Mikal Bridges get convicted like right before training camp or like during training camp?
Yeah, that's still a good time to do it because the season didn't start yet. And, no one really knows where they're going to be where they're going to be seated as a team. And right now is down the stretch. Like the worst time to convict an NBA player with the likes of John Morant, with the skill set of John Morant, a superstar like him. That's the worst time to get convicted. Bad on John Morant to do it when considering like he has a freaking NBA season to finish and try to be on a good seeding and figure out the weaknesses of every NBA team that you'll possibly play in the playoffs. That was bad on his part. But will the NBA media get involved? Will they try to prolong this investigation so that John Morant can be on the court to make money for the Grizzlies, ownership staff and get tickets out? And will it help the Grizzlies with their seeding? I still see the Grizzlies making the playoffs. I just don't think that they're the type of team that I thought that they would be.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was that time where he was hurt last year, and the team was like still had like an insane run. Like Memphis is very talented without Ja, but they're not winning a championship, assuming he's suspended for the rest of the season. I mean, looking at the standings, they're 6.5 behind Denver, so there's a huge cushion. But they're only 3 games behind from being the 4 seed. So, like, clearly them not having Ja could hurt them.
Dude, they need Ja for sure. But again, is the media going to probably, butt in and try to interfere with this investigation? Do you think so?
I think it will be in both ways. Like obviously, like the media for the sake of like ticket reason, because like Memphis is already a small market, generally, and you add the fact that John Morant's a superstar, and they're the second seed in the Western Conference. Like obviously, I think everyone in the NBA media wants him back, but at the same time, because this is such a huge issue, like I mentioned earlier, like the supposed role model, like flashing a gun, like now they're going to be interviewing, like, has he ever used it? Like, God forbid, like all this stuff, like assaulting a minor, like they're going to really do their homework on this. So I think back to like the question I asked earlier, like I think this will go longer than 2 games because they're not going to try to rush it. They're going to make sure, like all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed. Like they're going to try to figure out what's going on here. With this situation. I'm just kind of wondering how, like, first of all, what like the atmosphere will be for him when he gets back. Because obviously teams are gonna like road games are probably gonna be brutal from Ja. Like he's probably gonna get heckled. His own teammates, like considering like he made such an immature decision, like especially like the veterans, like Steven Adams. Like I wonder how they're gonna take this.
True.
So there's a lot to be unspoken here.
Also, speaking of the Grizzlies, Brandon Clark is out for the season with the torn Achilles.
Yeah, it took a huge hit to my fantasy team.
That's a huge. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Poor you.
Yeah, well, because the thing is, like my starting lineup is like star power, but my bench sucks. So I'm like the 2 seed right now.
Oh yeah.
So I picked up Jalen McDaniels to replace him. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, man.
But
he's streaking with a 3.
Yeah,
he's
but
streaky.
I mean, Brandon Clark was like, because I was only looking at it and like his stats and stuff. Like he's not shooting the best, but he's still having a good year, or was having a good year. Obviously, it's cut short now. He was in the first year of his 4-year contract extension. I think it was like 4 years, $80 million or something like that. But I mean, Memphis has like plenty of depth, so they can do well without him. Ja's the more question mark, and then also with like Dylan Brooks getting his 16th technical foul.
He's the Rasheed Wallace of the modern NBA.
Yeah,
he's the Rasheed Wallace.
Even like the Meta World Peace.
I feel like he's Rasheed Wallace more because Ron Artest is. I mean, yeah, he's also. It's funny because they're both good on defense. I feel like he's more Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah,
I really do because like he's got that grit that Rasheed Wallace had when he was on the Pistons. You know, and like he carried that to the Celtics. He also carried that to other teams he was on. I forgot. I mean, the Trailblazers too. But yeah, like I never liked Dylan Brooks, but I think that's the point. Like if you're not a fan of the Grizzlies, then obviously Dylan Brooks is probably one of your most hated players in the league. But if you are a fan, you're like Dylan Brooks can do whatever he wants. But that also has to do with his technical fouls. So he gets a 16 technical foul. Of course, he gets suspended 1 game. Who cares? But if he receives more technical fouls, what's the criteria for that? Like, does he get suspended more games if he gets more T's?
I think it goes like heavier suspension, and then I think you start getting fined.
Oh, okay. Again, yeah, that's like a small minor fracture in their team system, but I still think that with the loss of Ja for an untimable amount of time, and of course Brandon Clark, who's a really solid bench player, he's on his second, third season or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, and he's improving as a player. So
didn't that like 16 technical foul and like the extensions, didn't that happen to Draymond a couple seasons ago or something like that?
Yeah, but he got his 16th technical foul in the playoffs.
Oh. Yeah, Clark was in his 4th year in the league.
Yeah, so still a young player, improving each season as well. Yeah, it's right now they got Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane, who are probably their anchors right now for the team, and also Dylan Brooks whenever he's not able to get teed up all the time.
Oh wow, Clark, it really is an awful shooter. He shot 16.7% from 3 this year.
On how many attempts?
I don't know. Shooting 65% from the field though, but
Probably
from
just a rim
three,
protector, or like a rim rim slasher.
from three, he's shooting, or on attempts, he has, like 0.1.
Yeah. It's not really
So
that much.
I guess
So it's like what he's probably shot like 0.1 out of a total of 64 games. It's like
yeah.
barely anything. So
Well,
I
did you
don't think
see
he shoot-
Paulo Banchero went 1 for 33 in February from three?
What?
Yeah, I saw that stat.
He's fell so hard after his strong start to the season. He's fallen off so hard. I mean, all the rookies have pretty much fallen hard off, except maybe Mathurin.
Yeah.
Mathurin.
I mean, Jaden Ivey's been good.
And Jaden Ivey's gotten better. But I still give it to Paolo Banchero as a rookie of the year for right now.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
He's got
like
20
even though he's been
points per game.
abysmal from three, he's still like scoring good amount.
Oh yeah, no, I mean he still scores a good 2-pointer right there. I mean he's 26 points, 31, 29, 19. He's averaging 20 points a game, which is pretty good for a rookie. It's like LeBron levels of good. So I don't really think that he's. I'm not saying he fell off hard. It's just that he came back down to earth, but he's still solid as a rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about your Knicks, man.
Yeah. So
you excited?
I'm very excited. This is probably the best year for the Knicks. Like just like coasting out this ride. 9-game win streak. Haven't lost since they got Josh Hart. So he's really been the spark plug. They even won without Jalen Brunson. They're 3-1 against the Celtics, who they historically struggle against this year. They even snapped their losing streak against the Nets, blowing them out twice. They had a 9-game losing streak to the Nets. Last time they beat them was like mid-January of 2020. And the Knicks are a game behind of Cleveland for the 4 seed. They're 39-27, but they would actually be the 2nd seed in the West. So they're doing good. I think a lot of people are respecting the Knicks and saying that they can go on a run. I don't think they will. I think they'll win a playoff series. Because I think that despite this hot streak, like this team isn't ready yet to compete. I could see it though. Like I think they could give the Bucks or Celtics some trouble, but I don't think they could get past them. I'm very excited. The only still loving Jalen Brunson.
I think that we need to replace Jalen Brunson with the Emmanuel Quickly appreciation.
Oh my God! This guy's so.
Yeah.
I love Quickly.
His floater.
Floater god.
Floater god for sure.
He's like, and I talked about it on my article that's hopefully coming out soon whenever my guy Rob can get to it. But had a career high in minutes and in points. He had 55 minutes, career high, 38 points in the double overtime game against the Celtics. Started over the injured Brunson, who had a sore ankle. Yeah, so I mean it was, or sorry, foot. So yeah, Quickly looked great.
We should call it the Jalen Brunson Replacement Award.
Jalen Brunson Replacement Award. Yeah. I'm with it. Give it to Emmanuel Quickly.
Yeah.
Who CBS Sports said was a D+ pick when the Knicks drafted him, by the way. So
fun fact. Damn.
Yeah, but no, I mean Quickly, like there was reports of him being traded at beginning of the season, pretty much all the way to the deadline. He was supposed to be rumored in that Donovan Mitchell trade if it happened. I still wish I would have had Donovan Mitchell. Like I would have been fine with trading Quickly, but
yeah,
he's making the most of his. Like he's come into his own now. Like he's been shooting a lot better despite being undersized. Like he's a great guard. Like yeah, he had those 38 points against the Celtics, but he also had 4 steals and 2 blocks. Like he was making an impact on the defensive end. It's nice to know that the Knicks have 2 great point guards. Considering I couldn't even tell you the last time they had a great point guard. So I like Quickly coming off the bench.
Raymond Felton.
Yeah, maybe.
Raymond Felton.
Yeah. Or we had Jason Kidd, but he wasn't great on the Knicks, but he was just great in general. I guess like the only complaint that I have, like, I hate Mitchell Robinson. I really do.
What happened to loving him? You were like so excited about him returning to the team after injury. What happened?
Well, because we needed him, because like he's still been one of the best offense. Okay, let me phrase that. I love Mitchell Robinson offensively. I think he's one of the best rebounders in the league. I hate him defensively when he versus a team like the Celtics and Al Horford. He is allergic to. I swear to God, I think he has allergies and he's allergic to playing defense on the 3-point line. Like they almost lost the game because Al Horford was just hitting threes. Like I get it. You're not supposed to be playing 3-point defense, but this is what the NBA is now, where centers can shoot like a Brook Lopez and now Horford. Like,
I agree. The thing is that a lot of teams, when they see that happening, because most centers, especially centers that aren't spacers, they get exploited at the top of the key or on the wing. Like they get exploited. They switch it up. They do it like a switch mismatch, and boom, easy what is it? Run over offense, or what is it? What kind of offense is it? Whoever offense. It's easy whoever offense. Like once you have like somebody up on you, and then you switch up to have Robinson replace him. Boom! Like it's a 3-point line right there. It's easy.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that whole Knicks Celtics game from tip off to the end of the second overtime, and like you would think theoretically like Robinson should dominate Horford, like at least from a boards perspective, and like Robinson had 14, he had 13 to 14, but like Horford also had 14 rebounds, and like this season has only had double-digit rebounds like I think 5 times. So it wasn't even like he completely dominated him on the board. So it was like it was frustrating. But because theoretically in the East, the 3 biggest contenders in the East are the Celtics, the Sixers, and the Bucks. And all 3 of those teams have shooting big men. So it's going to be very important that Robinson would have to contest on those, because like he just doesn't, and
sometimes you can't really do it. Like sometimes whenever you're coached to be able to be good at mismatches, sometimes a player can't physically do it. Like they're not born to play like that. Like they were supposed to be like in a different era, or play in a different era, or play just at the paint. It's just kind of the way things go. I mean, that's the Knicks. Well, I do have a really important winning streak, and it's very promising to see. And they're definitely a playoff team, no doubt. I don't see them beating the Celtics in a 7-game series. I see them taking the Celtics to like 6 games.
I think that too, and like that's perfectly fine considering this team kind of reminds me of like a better team that went to the playoffs 2 years ago, where they lost to the Hawks in 5. As the 4 seed, like you look at that roster and you look at this roster, like you can't really name me a star. It's just like a superstar. It's just a bunch of good. Well, actually, I'd say not Barrett. Wow, I'd say Randall and Brunson are great players, but I don't know if you'd give them the superstar label yet, or like if they do, they're probably like bottom tier superstars. But like they're mostly just a team of great and good players that just gel together and fight hard. Like Josh Hart is one of the like most physical players in the league. Like you take a look at him, he's only 6'5", but like for his height, he has the most rebounds like at his height or lower. Like he's always diving for loose balls. Like, he's one to get scrappy. Like,
yeah, for sure. I love his expressions whenever something odd happens. It's great.
Yeah, well, did you see when it was the home game against the Celtics where Jason Tatum like either fouled out or got like a double technical? He got like disqualified from the game, and it was like
like his face is so funny whenever he like makes an odd like remark or expression. Like he did the same thing with Harden whenever Harden like tried to bounce the ball in his face.
Oh yeah.
He's like Harden's just kind of just walking around like.
Nah, this Knicks team is definitely fun to watch too, because like Emmanuel Quickly, like it was either the first overtime or the second overtime. I want to say the second overtime. He had the first 7 points of the game of that quarter, and he was like galloping every time, and it was just like he was definitely like
Dude,
feeling
he
himself
was
and like having
feeling
fun.
himself for sure.
Yeah.
I'll say this from a perspective that I didn't watch the game. So I saw the highlights and I'm like, okay. And I saw like on Twitter, like the Knicks and Celtics were trending, but I didn't want to look at the score. I was like, let's look at the highlights and see who actually wins based on what you see maybe in the first 4 or 5 minutes. Because the NBA highlights only do like, 9-10 minutes of highlights. So
Yeah, something like that.
yeah. So like as I'm watching the game, I'm like, damn, it's a back and forth game. Like the Celtics, I think, came back in the fourth and tied it, and then like it was just crazy. I didn't even know who was going to win. I had no idea who was going to win. I thought Horford was going to hit that buzzer beater, that game winner.
Oh my god, I thought.
And it looked like he was, but it just nicked off the rim. Like it was too short. The accuracy was right, the precision was right, but it was too short. And I was like, damn, man, would have gone to like a whole like Celtics game winner, and it would have changed the trajectory of the reaction of the game. And man, like quickly was just. I was like in awe, like watching the highlights, just audibly saying, "Wow, holy shit."
Yeah, I mean the Knicks, their last 2 games both could be borderline game of the years. I mean they had that like, huge game with the Heat where
dude with Mike Breen doing the play-by-play
double bang.
The double bang, man. When you hear the double bang, you know it's a good game.
Yeah, he's only used the double bang apparently on that, and then Steph Curry.
Yeah, the Curry one.
Crazy. Yeah,
Curry way downtown bang.
Yeah, I mean, like I literally thought like the Knicks were gonna lose that game when Randall, the possession before, turned the ball over, and then Tyler Hero hit the shot, and then I was like, oh my god, they're gonna lose this game, like whatever.
Yeah.
Like I come to terms with it, and then I saw that they started full court pressing, doubling Brunson and Randall, and I'm like, oh, we're so screwed. Like Brunson almost turns over the ball. Randall gets the loose ball, but then gets picked up by Jimmy Butler. I'm like, oh, we're toast. And then Butler actually poked the ball away. Randall gets it and just throws up the circus shot that goes in. So like borderline back-to-back game of the years the Knicks have played. What's even more impressive about this win streak is because like when the Warriors went on that huge win streak, like obviously a win streak is a win streak. It's impressive.
Yeah.
Like some of those teams, like more than half those teams weren't like impressive wins. Like you can make the case that majority of these Knicks games have been like close, hard-fought games against great teams. And like you were saying when you were talking about Memphis and like that close game with Denver, like those games are going to matter. Like these Knicks games are mattering. Like despite the Heat kind of being on a slump and not being nearly as good as they should be, those wins are good. Like
Absolutely.
Finally beating your crosstown rival, the Brooklyn Nets, and like beating them convincingly, even without KD and Kyrie. Like obviously they're not on the team anymore. Still great. Going 3-1 this year against the Boston Celtics, especially when you win the last game without Jalen Brunson, great. Like it's also showing like you can rely on your bench and other people are stepping up. Like if the Knicks can continue this level of play, it's championship caliber. I don't think they will win the championship or get close to it, but the show that the thought is there and they don't really have a superstar, I'm excited.
Yeah. Well said, Brian. That's like I'm excited for the playoffs, especially with the Knicks. I know they won't do so well, like maybe a second round exit. It's kind of like
probably.
I'm looking at that. But hey, last week we were both wrong on the Knicks 4-game road trip.
We were both wrong, yeah.
I said 2-2, and the Knicks won what, all 4? Or all 3?
All 4.
All 4? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I said
I could be wrong.
Realistically, 2-2, 3-1, hopeful,
but you got even better. 4-0, crazy.
Yeah.
So hey, maybe I might say there'll be a second round exit, but then there'll be an Eastern Conference Finals appearance. I don't know.
I think if that happens, we both have to buy Brunson jerseys.
Do I have to buy Brunson jerseys? Really? Do I have to buy one?
Well, you can get quickly since you just gave him the Jalen Brunson Replacement Award.
Can I get the Quentin Grimes jersey instead?
Oh, you're a Grimes guy?
Dude, he went to UH.
I know, but I didn't know if you
I knew. Yeah, I know Quentin Grimes. I knew him.
Oh damn! All right,
Yeah,
yeah.
I went to UH. Yeah, but I'm not.
Really?
I'm not a Knicks fan.
Get it? Well, I know, but I don't know if you follow college ball or you knew that he went to UH.
I mean, yeah, if the UH Cougars are doing well, I'll follow them. I also went to college when he was playing, so.
Oh yeah, get a Grimes jersey then.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not really a huge Knicks fan. I'm just happy that you're happy. That's
I
mostly
appreciate that.
Yeah. I'm also happy because the Knicks are relevant, but I'm not really a New York. The only team I have praise for is the New York Mets. Because they're the underdog. They're like the Yankees' little brother,
I mean, the latter is true, but I don't know if I'd say that they're the underdog anymore. Look at the team they have.
They're trying to be the top dog. They're trying, but they keep failing. They collapsed last season, and then they didn't do well in the wild card game.
Yeah. I hope the Rockets get Harden back now.
Why do you think that? Why do you want that?
Well, one, just reciprocating the favors, so you could be happy as a Rocket fan, and I also don't want to play him 4 times a year. So,
dude, he's terrible in the playoffs. Be a blessing for you guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. What are you trying to say, man?
Okay, in the regular season.
The regular season, yeah, for sure. But that's the regular season. You win some, you lose some, but mostly win some games, right? But in the playoffs, if you're playing against Harden, that's a blessing.
Yeah, that's true.
That's you have an advantage. Harden chokes in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I feel generally Philly does sometimes too, because I legitimately thought they were going to go on a run, and then that Kawhi Leonard shot year.
Oh, dude, I think that is the closest that the Sixers will ever come to a championship run with Joel Embiid as their star player. That is the closest. I don't think they'll get any closer than that.
That's low key a hot take, but I agree with it.
No, that's a fact. I think that's
no. I agree with it.
I might be wrong, I was wrong with the Knicks, but hey, my predictions are Charles Barkley levels of right. They're mostly wrong. I just don't see the guaranteed part.
No, I agree with it though. I think that was their chance.
They had Jimmy Butler on the team. They had Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris. Ben Simmons was not terrible at the time. They had a really solid team.
That's why I thought they were going to win.
Yeah.
And then, obviously he's not a star, but I completely forgot they don't have Matisse Thybulle anymore. So, who's even, their defensive anchor now?
Anthony Melton.
Yeah. I mean, it's not awful.
He's actually a pretty decent, two-way guard. He's not terrible. He's a decent two-way guard. Tyrese Maxey, he's too young. He needs to play better. He's got streaks of greatness, but then he all of a sudden just gets lost on the floor when it's crunch time. Tobias Harris, he's always. He's always
they're coached by Doc Rivers. Yeah, they choke in the playoffs. I'm not worried.
Yeah. Dude, they're not going to win an NBA Finals with Doc Rivers. Joel Embiid is entering age 30 in a couple of years. He's 29 or 30 years old now. I think. I don't know, but I just don't think they're going to get
28. Yeah, he's 28.
Yeah. He's in his prime years, but doesn't mean he gets injured. He gets injured quite a bit, so you have that issue, which is more probable than Anthony Davis not being injured. That's
true. Yeah,
that's definitely a fact. Both players, comparative wise, I think Joel Embiid is better, but I feel like he plays through injuries a lot more than Anthony Davis. But when Joel Embiid plays through injuries, he's half as good than he really is.
Yeah.
So he's basically a liability, regardless if he's if he's injured. But yeah, with Harden, Harden, he's 33 years old. He's entering his twilight years. He's still a good facilitator, a great 3-point shooter. He's got that choke gene, man. Spent 8 years on the Rockets suffering it. He's got that choke gene every single season. So, yeah. Speaking of the Rockets, they're on a win streak. And it's against the Spurs.
Take your wins.
Hey, I gotta take my wins when I get them. I mean, they scored 140 points to 112 points last night, and it was
That's so impressive.
glorious. Like I haven't seen them score 140 points since the Harden era. It was nice to see. Şengün is getting a reduction in minutes, but also Jalen Green's back from his injury. He's only playing 26 to 28 minutes per game, but he's scoring 20 points. His 3-point shot is 45% from three ever since he's returned from injury, which is really good because usually he's more of a 30 to 35%. But he's shooting really well from beyond the arc. KPJ is a lost cause. He returned back from injury, but then he got re-injured. He re-injured his same toe. So he's been a liability, and that's great for the Rockets because that contract they signed him for, that's good because it's not a long-term contract. They can opt him out whenever, and so I really wanted to see KPJ and Jalen Green, be scary hours, like they said in the off season, but it hasn't amounted to any of that.
Hey, you guys could beat the Brooklyn Nets though.
I don't think we can.
Stop Brooklyn Bridges. Did you see that game he had against the Hornets?
Yeah, dude, he's turning into a superstar. He scored 45 points.
Yeah, he had 19 points, going 9 for 9 in the first quarter.
That's crazy.
Cam Johnson's even been going off too with them.
Yeah, no, they got no game plan. They're just hooping. There's no nerves. There's no expectations. When you have that, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, and did you hear that the rumor that they're talking about shutting Ben Simmons down for the rest of the season?
I heard that rumor. I think somebody posted that in our Slack. Like it was verified by this guy that we never heard of, so we weren't sure if it was a credible source.
Yeah,
I can see it happening. He's only scored what? He's averaging 3.5 points per game.
Something brutal like that.
Yeah. The case of Ben Simmons is really sad. I don't know. He's got like an unending yips.
I think it's like a confidence thing.
It's unbridled yips. It's unbridled unconfidence. It's just
he needs to go to a small market and just hope he can ball out there.
He should go to
because playing in Philly and Brooklyn aren't necessarily going to help you from a confidence standpoint.
You know what they should do? They should expand a new NBA team, bring back the Sonics, put Ben Simmons on that team. That's what they should do. What? It's a big good idea. Expansion teams suck. They do. They suck for the first 4 or 5 seasons. So it'd be great for Ben Simmons to get his confidence back and play with some scrubs that are dying to play for an NBA team. Maybe some G Leaguers.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I'm so glad that they didn't trade the Rockets didn't trade Ben for Ben Simmons. I'm so glad. Like there was some talk.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was some talk that they're gonna trade James Harden to the Sixers, or was it to the Sixers for Ben Simmons. Back when Ben Simmons was on the Sixers.
Oh, you're talking about back then. I thought you were talking about this year.
No, this was James Harden wanted to play with Joel Embiid, but I guess they didn't make the trade happen, so he went to the Nets instead. But there was a trade package that included Harden and other things, and in exchange for Ben Simmons.
Oh yeah, no, I did hear about that. I thought you were talking about this year.
And everybody that was a Rockets fan was like, "Man, this is great. Ben Simmons is a young player. He can facilitate. He can also slash. He's a great defender as well. He can really play well against our new rookies and first round picks that we'll get, which happened to be Jalen Green." And I was like, I don't see that. I saw that wide open dunk that he decided to not attempt to make. I'm not really sold on this guy. I'm glad I didn't do it. So
yeah,
it was a good call. The coach sucks. Silas is not good, but I feel like it's the front office that's not really pushing out good coaching ethics or whatever you call it. But I do think Raphael Stone is a skilled GM. I think he's a very, very good GM. He's made some pretty decent moves since taking it over Daryl Morey. So yeah. What else is on the news? let's go to the West. Speaking of the West, let's go to the Suns and Mavs.
Oh, that was a fun game last night.
Dude, yeah. Suns and Mavs were when I said that KD, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, and Devin Booker were like the better version of the 04 Lakers, I think I was right. I really do. They are balling. Their defense,
they're balling, and they're like drama filled.
Yes, they got KD, who's got a huge ego. Booker loves to trash talk only when he's up, especially if it's against the Mavs.
Got Chris with 3 seconds left.
Oh yeah, you've got Chris Paul who flops like crazy, and then you got Ayton who does not want to be on the team.
Yeah.
It's
like a Kardashian episode.
I love it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Also, Devin Booker dated a Kardashian, so perfect. Yeah. What do you think of that? Like, what do you think of Devin Booker trash talking Luka every time he's up, especially with late in the game?
It went back to that huge thing last year where it was like Luka was dribbling out the ball in garbage time, and then Booker kind of just went up and like reached it from him. So like that honestly could be a new rivalry in the making. The Mavericks and the Suns, more specifically Booker and Luka. Booker kind of just like is kind of like arrogant and like just like talking shit because like Luka even cost them the game by missing the layup which led to talking
wide open too.
Which led to them talking shit. But honestly, I kind of have an issue with the technical foul given to Booker there because Luka was kind of the one. Like, yeah, Booker instigated it, I guess, by like talking shit, but like Luka was the one that actually went up and like got in his face, causing them to have to be separated.
Yeah, I kind of wanted them to kiss a little bit. No, I'm kidding. No, that was all of a sudden too. Like the way that, because Booker was kind of like walking towards the ref, but the ref was in like Luka's direction. So I kind of felt like at first Booker was trash talking Luka after he missed the shot. But I guess since that he was trying to, I guess, argue with the ref about something, Luka got right into it and then maybe triggered Booker. That's what got Booker in his face.
Yeah, but I like another weird thing from that game was like, did you see the interaction with Durant when that whole scuffle was going on?
Yeah, you mentioned that Durant was like didn't want to be part of it. He just like walked away.
Yeah, it was weird. Like Kyrie Irving, because Kyrie also was getting into it with Booker and oh my god, what's the young guy's name on the Rocket or on Dallas? Not Jalen Green.
Jaden Hardy, or no, I know it's blank Green.
Josh Green.
Josh Green. Jesus.
Yeah. And it was
Josh Green.
Kyrie and Josh Green were kind of getting into a Booker, and then Durant was like kind of playing like middleman because like obviously has the history of Kyrie, like their teammates, like apparently still good friends or whatever. But then he was like, "Oh shit!" Like I'm not. It was like almost like a light bulb like clicked in his mind. I was like, "Oh shit! I'm not like teammates with you anymore." And like then he was kind of like trying to calm down Kyrie and like get him away. So that was kind of just a weird like interaction.
I think it's because like that made him feel a little uncomfortable because of the fact that they are no longer teammates, but they're bros. Like they're really good friends. Like that they joined together on the Brooklyn Nets. So that sort of long-term friendship that they had over the years in the NBA, and then for them seeing like their opposing teams fight against each other like that. Yeah, it does kind of throw KD off because at the same time he wants to protect his players and his teammates and defend them, but at the same time it's like it's against Kyrie, who's like who's his buddy. So I would kind of feel like the same emotion in that situation because I wouldn't really know what to do because like I don't want to ruin that friendship and also like I also want to protect my teammates.
Yeah, I mean if you were like Devin Booker and if like you were in his shoes with that and you kind of see your teammate be like, are you really picking your friend over like your teammate? Like, how would you feel in that situation?
I would tell him, hey, like, this is a business. This is the NBA. Like, it doesn't matter if you used to be teammates with your buddy. You're with us now. All right. We got a chance to win it all. So, if something happens between a player and us, and there's a scuffle, and you're like one of our star players that we acquired from you, like you got to protect us. You got to help us out.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would do in that
Yeah.
situation. And like back to the whole point of like how the Suns have been balling, which they have been. I figured they would just because they still have a ton of talent on that team. But I kind of thought they'd reach some growing pains, kind of like what the Clippers are now. Like I guess we could transition to it after. I think they're 1-4 with Westbrook. But I thought the Suns were going to reach like some growing pains in a sense because like, yes, Chris Paul's a playmaker, but he's still a good player offensively. Booker's obviously a lethal scorer. Durant is a like unconscious scorer. So like those, and then obviously Ayton is like a double machine. Those are 4 players that can score pretty convincingly, but there's only one basketball to go around. So I kind of thought there was going to be some growing pains in that regard of like sharing the ball, like dishing out the ball, and like all those duties with it. But it's worked for right now. So
no, yeah, I disagree with the whole growing pains with the Suns because you have to remember KD is a great teammate in terms of ball sharing. Like when he was on the Warriors, they were unstoppable, and
yeah, that's true.
He had great shooters all around him. He had a facilitator all around him as well. You know, on the Nets, he had Harden as a facilitator. So
Yeah,
he's
and
a
I guess
great
'cause-
off-ball shooter. He doesn't need the basketball in his hands. Yeah,
No, he doesn't.
when he does, he can shoot from anywhere, and it's great. He's just a fucking phenom, but he's not like Russell Westbrook who needs the ball in his hands and like potentially changes the trajectory of the game plan for the team. So that's in that sense, I can see why the Clippers are 1-4 because Westbrook plays differently. He's not an off-ball player. He needs the basketball in his hands. And unlike Kawhi and Paul George, who don't necessarily have to have the ball in their hands every single possession, Westbrook does, and changing that changes the way the Clippers play. So
yeah, I mean they're still 1-4, but like if you look at some of those games, like they should have been wins or like were tough losses. Like
yeah,
that Clippers Nuggets game should have been a win. They lost in overtime. They kind of blew that game. Then they lost to the Timberwolves. They lost semi badly to the Warriors. But then they also blew that game against the Kings where they lost by 1 on Friday. But then
yeah,
Westbrook finally gets his first win. Beats the John Morant-less and Brandon Clark-less Memphis Grizzlies
that's really
by
nothing.
6.
That's really not important. I mean, you got Dylan Brooks and Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr., which they're not necessarily superstars; they're just co-stars.
Yeah, and then well, they're kind of on a home game, on a home streak now. They're home yesterday against the Grizzlies, home on Wednesday against the Raptors. Then they get a few days off, and they're home against the Clippers on Saturday, or home against the Knicks on Saturday.
I think the acquisition of Russell Westbrook kind of makes him overrated. I just don't think that they're adding Westbrook didn't make them worse. They just didn't need to add him in the first place. You see what I mean?
I mean, I guess, but like, I don't know. I love the move because,
on paper, it's good, but
well, because I kind of think like too is like out of the teams interested in Westbrook, it was kind of like the best fit because like he goes to a better team than the Lakers, and like I know he's starting now, but he could have been better poised for the bench. Like I think they should start Terrence Mann over Westbrook.
I think so too. I think that his job on the Lakers off the bench, he was really good off the bench.
Yeah, like it didn't start out that way, but then as he figured out how to
they realized
be a bench player, like it could have been way better for him because like obviously the Lakers bench before they traded half their roster away wasn't the best. But like to say like assuming Mann was starting in the scenario, to say you're running a bench unit with like Eric Gordon, Mason Plumlee, and even like Nick Batum, but and then you still probably have one of Kawhi and or Paul George playing. Like, it's not a bad bench at all.
No, not necessarily. It's just with Westbrook getting the nod as a starting point guard, there's more of an ego to that, and he feels like he has to put the team on his shoulders all the time. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's kind of how
especially in
Westbrook has been over the years as an NBA player. But whenever he came off the bench, he just did what he was told. He was not trying to take over the team like he's done in the past. And in the past, he could do that and do really well. But now he's approaching his mid-30s. His knees aren't as strong. His IQ is not as high. Whenever he was on the Thunder, but his ego is still there. So he thinks he can carry a team like 2016, 2017 Westbrook.
Yeah, and like in a way too, I kind of think like, and I guess it goes along with the ego, is because he's still in his like hometown LA. So I feel like there's like like when he joined the Lakers and like even now with a championship contending Clippers, because I think despite being the 8 seed, like once they figure out this Westbrook stuff, I still think they can reach that level. I kind of think like the pressure of like, oh, I'm home, like I'm playing in front of like my friends and family all the time. Like it's like this extra pressure. Like I'm now probably the third or fourth best player on my team. Like I guess I have the relief of stress that I'm not the best player anymore, but like I still believe I can contribute. I think all that's getting to his head because he also is in his mid-30s, doesn't have a championship, and he's trying for that. So
yeah, and you got Paul George and Kawhi who are also aging as well. How is Kawhi like? He's not much of an impact as he used to be, but he's still scoring really well.
Yeah, I mean, in that last game against the Grizzlies, he had 34, 10, and 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's odd. I'm not really sure how to put it, but he's doing fine. He's doing well as a player. Maybe it's his defense. That's not that great anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he's averaging 23 points this year.
Which is, I mean, he averaged 27, 26, and 25 between 2019 and 2016. I'm not going to count 2017 because that was when he was injured on the Spurs and they had that like little drama issue. But when he had full seasons, he was elite, one of the best players in the game. Now after his ACL tear, he's 23.3 points, solid 50% from the field and 41 from deep, but maybe it's his defense that's been a decrease in his performance. I'm most likely guessing that
because like I've even like I don't watch like Grizzlies games all the time or like generally like at all to like be able to pick up on that, but like from just what I do know, like it happened to Klay Thompson. Like he's not as good as a defender as he used to be. Like he's still an above average defender, like even like a good defender, but like he used to be a great defender.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I regard him as like one of the best defenders from 2014 to like 2019, like one of the best defenders in the league.
Yeah, like on that championship run, his defense was very underrated, like holding LeBron to like 30 something or whatever.
Yeah. His offense is back though. Thompson is killing it off the threes. Like his offense is back. He's doing pull-ups. He's doing off-ball screens, catch and shoots. Like he's good. He's still good on the offensive end, but the defense, I think that's kind of what impairs you whenever you go through a serious career-ending injury, like an ACL tear or Achilles or patellar tendon, something like that. Your offense comes back, but like you use most of your body on defense, and because of that, those prior injuries, it hinders your performance on defense. So I think that's probably what is going on with Kawhi in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's switch off to the Lakers side. What do you think is going on, especially after LeBron's injury? What's the Lakers situation there?
I mean, they're obviously without LeBron, so that's crucial for them. They've kind of been like inconsistent of terms of like getting some wins and getting some losses. So they've kind of been playing mediocre basketball, but what I've noticed is like Anthony Davis has definitely stepped up more offensively. Like in their last game in the win against the Warriors, he had 39, even had 6 assists as a big man, which is pretty nice. And obviously, like, LeBron's your star. He's leading the team. He's the main focal point of your offense. But I think, like, in a weird way, LeBron's injured. Obviously, you don't want it to be this long term, and you don't really want him to be injured at all. But it's kind of like a blessing in disguise in a way, in the sense that, like, you're able to see who can step up and who can be reliable in the postseason when you get to that point. Because, like, Troy Brown Jr. played a game high 41 minutes, had 14 points. Jared Vanderbilt, who's been playing nice, very nice as of late, had a double-double, 10 and 13. Dennis Schroeder had 11 and 6. Malik Beasley had 12. Austin Reeves had 16 off the bench. Rui Hachimura has been getting more minutes as of late. It's like defensive anchor. So, I mean, they're kind of playing like mishing and mashing of like see who plays well better and who can step up. Because obviously, when LeBron comes back, some of those guys' roles are going to diminish, whether it's minutes or offensively.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think that Davis needs to play like he played in the first 2 months of the season before he got injured. He just needs to have that MVP level. He can't back down. I mean, yeah, he's Glass Davis, street clothes Davis, but he's got to fight through that. Like I can see every Lakers fan every time Davis goes down with a foul, they're like, oh fuck, shit, oh my god.
Yeah, their heart stops.
Their heart stops. Yeah, for like a split second, they start to flatline.
I mean, they're tied with the Jazz for the 10th seed for the last playing spot. They're half a game behind the Pelicans for the 9th spot.
Yeah.
As long as the Lakers can stay, because LeBron's out for what, like another week or two? As long as they can
2 or 3 weeks. He's gonna get really reevaluated after 3 weeks. So like he's actually gone out for a little while, like a month at least.
Well, I guess since the season is wrapping up,
he'll probably be back
like pretty much in a month.
Maybe like the last 2 or 3 games of the season is when we'll be back.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just gonna say I guess they'll have to do a little bit more, because I was gonna say as long as they can still remain mediocre, they could still get into a play-in spot, because I don't know if the Jazz are gonna hold on to it, but like even worse, I think the Pelicans, because with the trajectory they're going, they're gonna fall out of that.
I think they're out of playoff contention, the Pelicans.
Yeah,
I can see it happening. So I wrote a New Orleans Pelicans midseason report. And of course, yeah, they were like among the top 3 seeded teams in the NBA. I think in the early episodes of Cut the Nets, I mentioned how they might be a top 5 seed towards come playoff time. Then, of course, Ingram gets injured. Zion gets injured. Ingram comes back from injury, but then they still play terribly. And now they have 2 of their top bench players, and Larry Nance Jr. and Jose Alvarado are injured as well. And they're not going to come back until late March. Zion is still injured. There's no timetable when he'll return. And Ingram and CJ McCollum are pretty much the 2 stars that are on the team trying to keep the team afloat, which I don't know. You need Zion. They need Zion to play at a full level. And if that doesn't happen, if Zion doesn't come back at full strength, they can't make the playoffs. I don't see it. The Lakers are coming back, like we mentioned earlier. I think they can play well, like okay without LeBron. I don't think the Pelicans can play well or okay without Zion. They keep losing games over the last couple of weeks. And also their bench is very solid. The only thing I can probably think of that might be positive is Trey Murphy. He's been having a solid season overall, 12.7 points per game. His sophomore season, he's continuing to get better every year. Also was a finalist at the dunk contest, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, they're like even Jonas Valanciunas is out right now. So like they got Willie Gomez starting right now.
Okay, that's worse. Even worse. Yeah. Valanciunas is day to day, but still like starting Hernan Gomez as a center, like that's waving the white flag.
Yeah, it's not even Juancho Hernan Gomez, the actor star in that Hustle Adam Sandler movie.
Bo Cruz. I still call him Bo Cruz. Yeah. He got waived by the Celtics.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad because like he's typecasted as Bo Cruz, and yet no one really knows his actual name until they like see it. But they're gonna call him Bo Cruz anyways. and his basketball skills, although very, very impressive, not good enough for a team. Just
Yeah.
He keeps getting waived by like tons of teams. Like I think he got waived by the Jazz one time. He got waived by the Celtics. Like he can't find a team to play for. Hey, the Pelicans might need him. You know, they're looking for something.
Yeah.
Sign Bo Cruz, man. Like
Get the Hernan Gomez guys together.
Absolutely, yeah. This episode is called Sign Bo Cruz.
Can you imagine if Hernan Gomez goes to like the Timberwolves and becomes teammates with Kermit Woltz, aka Anthony Edwards?
I was about to say, oh yeah, dude, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
that'd be really fun. They acted. I'm sure they're like good on off screen. Like they're cool off screen. Yeah, but it would be a nice media frenzy. All the Hustle fans would be like, "Yo, Bo Cruz and Kermit, yo, it's a freaking match made in heaven." Oh.
If that actually happens and Adam Sandler doesn't go to a game, I don't even know if I want it.
No. Adam Sandler has to travel to Minnesota to go see a game. Okay, he has to go travel to Minnesota to see them both play together because that's Hustle 2, the sequel.
You're right there, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, anything else we want to address? I think we can maybe close this out. Yeah, we went through everything.
Yeah.
We went through all of it, man. Awesome job. Props to both of us, man. We went through every single thing we wanted to get over with. All right. For more on the Cut the Nets, watch our other episodes. You'll be amazed at how funny and entertaining they are. That being said, I'm Jeremy. This is Brian. Cut the Net signing out. Thanks for watching.
See you.